pedals, new cars, new management and more right here, right now. Greetings Rummies and welcome to Rum, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to our regular news roundup, our weekly sim racing news. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. If you have any news for us, send us a mail to news@rumrum.net. It's the end of the sleeping pill industry. If you ever needed something to put you to sleep fast, we recommend the newest video on Formula 1 showing the Lost Wages circuit in F1 23, of which we won't show any images because we know Formula 1 needs every penny they can make in any kind of way, or they wouldn't have a race in Las Vegas to begin with. There's even a mod for Assetto Corsa we tested a while ago, check the link up there. In other news, we have Heikki Kovalainen's surprising pedal setup for the Simucube active pedals, an extensive look at the latest Assetto Corsa Competizione update, and oh so much more. Hot on the heels of last week's leak, see the link up there, F1 Manager 23 has been officially announced, bringing pretty much what the leak said it would. But there was also a video by the makers with some further details. Driver development has been tweaked, say goodbye to the skill points and hello to driver focus, where the driver specializes for a while on one skill, thus making comparisons between drivers even more meaningless than they were in F1 Manager 22. Skill points can also degrade depending on driver's age and time spent in the car. F2 and F3 seasons are now being simulated so you can get new drivers from those series, which is completely unrealistic, as most F2 drivers in the last years have gone to IndyCar because F1 is full of paying drivers who get the seats thanks to daddy's money. But I digress. A good change is that new hires come either at the end of the season or the middle of the season and not the instant you hire them, which was badly programmed in the previous version. New in your staff will be the sporting director, who will be responsible for the pit crew, their training and well-being. You will also be able to micromanage the training of the pit crew. And they've introduced random events like a factory fire, because random events happen so very often. Oy vey. In the car part of the game, parts now have durability and may break at any point in time or not pass controls, and then you'll have to build a new one with the inherent costs of time and money included. Within the race simulation, tire temperatures as well as carcass temperatures will now play a bigger role, adding more simulation into the strategy. And as we presupposed last week, driver confidence will be the new measurement for your drivers within a race weekend and will include track knowledge and familiarity with car parts all in one. Positive developments on track, especially based on your input, will also increase or decrease driver confidence. It's an always thin line you walk with management games in general, as every detail you put in can become an endless micromanagement task, dragging the enjoyment in the game down. We'll see if the developers were able to strike a balance between the two when the game comes out. When? Frontier's not telling yet. The time has come to enjoy Indianapolis in all its glory, and in time for the Indy 500, Raceroom has redone the track with all modern configurations of it and is selling it together with their RR USA cars, wink wink, at 30% less than the normal price. Although we still consider the rFactor 2 and Automobilista 2 cars to be better, those having the very important weight jacker, which is as important a part of oval racing as changing fuel mixes and brake balance is to GT3 or F1 racing. Also, and as we told you last week, see the link up there, the BMW M4 GT3 is out for everyone to buy, and with it came a lot of small changes in 2 updates. All GT3 and WTCC 2013 cars got physics updates. KW Studios did a big change in the force feedback with the introduction of dynamic linearity, which will allow them to tune the strength of the force feedback differently for each and every car. They warned that users with weaker wheels should increase their minimum force settings. Brands Hatch, Donington and Sonoma got updated track designs according to their state in 2023, and in a quickly delivered hotfix they also fixed a crash when trying to save ghost files. They advise users to delete any .gh files that were generated on May 24th, 25th or 26th, as they may be corrupted and crash Raceroom, and we should leave the crashing to the drivers. Two things have happened in the rFactor 2 world, one quite good, the other mildly annoying or deeply infuriating depending on what you did with regards to the BTCC content in the last months to a year. The good thing is that with the Cupra Leon you now have access to all of the cars taking part in BTCC. Bought by itself, the Cupra has the price of €5 USD, in line with all the other cars of the BTCC Studio 397 has brought out. But here we come to the point where you may be annoyed or outright furious, as following the release of the Leon, Studio 397 have released a BTCC complete car pack for the price of €20 USD and a BTCC total pack for €30 USD. Leaving aside that the BTCC total pack is still missing at least 4 tracks of the BTCC roster, if you have been buying the cars one by one and would do the same for the Leon, you'd have spent almost €40 USD already and almost €72 USD for the whole of tracks and cars. But only now Studio 397 turns around yelling "Surprise, mother!" and brings these specially priced packages. We understand motorsport games needs money as desperately as the desert needs rain, or most of our seas and rivers actually, and that their stock price has dropped dramatically and continues to do so. But this behavior is unfair at the least and insulting to rFactor 2 fans for sure. Any BTCC fan must feel duped after this. And again, the so-called BTCC Total Pack is not a pack containing all cars and tracks that make up the BTCC, so again, Studio 397 are being outright misleading in their naming of the DLC. While it's egregious in another way, in that you have to wait up to a year for the promised content, Automobilista 2 at least tells you up front what you are paying for when you buy one of their DLCs or packs. And until now they have kept their promise, even if in part extremely late. In any case, you can race all the BTCC cars and half of their tracks with official versions of both right now. When, if and at what price rFactor 2 and BTCC fans will be able to drive the official BTCC cars in the remaining 4 BTCC tracks is news that, if Studio 397 knows, they are not telling anybody. Simucube have added another driver profile to their list of personalized profiles for their active pedals. Heikki Kovalainen has offered his take on the newest big step in realism as far as pedals are concerned, and as an ex-Formula 1 driver he's got some interesting takes on the abilities of the dynamic pedals, setting Simucube Tuner to be at 127 kilos of 150 kilos on the brake pedal. For context, that's more brake force than the weight of an average European. Almost double in fact, so for an F1 driver of Heikki's fitness, an immense amount of force. If you want to try out Heikki's profile, which adds to a growing list of driver preferred profiles, update Simucube Tuner today and give your left leg a real workout. The illustrious and sadly now retired sim racing driver Tony Kanaan, who we think has done some other stuff, is the newest addition to the roster of official Simucube partners. We suppose he'll in time also deliver some tuning fitting his preferences. He's been an avid sim racer for a long while anyway, besides the other thing. And if you think that's all Simucube had to offer this week, think again. On Thursday, they released information about their newest pedal, a passive throttle. You can mix this passive throttle with their active pedals, thus having, for example, a passive throttle, an active brake, and clutch pedals, or just an active brake. Not coincidentally, you can buy the passive throttle alone or together with one or two active pedals as a bundle, if and when the website works again, as after the release of their announcement video, both the European and the US sites went belly up repeatedly, and you'll have to wait until at least July to get any of those pedals delivered. Time you can put to good use scrounging the couch for the needed small change. Because while the passive throttle costs €281 plus transport and taxes, the bundle with one active pedal costs €2,279 plus transport and taxes, and the bundle with two active pedal burns a hole in your bank account of €4,079 plus transport and taxes, of course. Does anyone know what I can get for a kidney nowadays? For comparison, a Fanatec V3 Club Sport pedal setup sets you back €400 for all three passive pedals, while 3 Ultimate Plus Huizenveld pedals are going to make you suffer at the tune of €1,425 for a 3-pedal set. The Simucube pedals in any configuration are subject to the same 5-year guarantee any of the Simucube hardware brings, and you can use the Simucube tuner software to adjust the load cell setup of the Simucube passive throttle. Of course, you can not only combine the passive throttle with other Simucube pedals, but with any other pedal set you may already have, like for example a Huizenveld clutch. Better find out soon where the next Volvo dealer is in-game, as the Volvo VNL is coming to American Truck Simulator with the 860, 740 and 300 models and different cabin types, trim options, steering wheels and whatnot, and of course different motors. As it's almost customary with SCS, the truck has been put into the game in collaboration with Volvo Trucks and comes free of charge into the game. You'll have to pay with in-game money though. Not a new truck, but rather a whole line of trailers is what Euro Truck Simulator 2 will be bringing soon, as they will be bringing Turkish trailer company Tirsan, or rather their trailers, into the game. They haven't said when and only show pictures with the designs, but not in-game, so it may be some time yet. Also, they have not said if it will be offered in a special DLC, as they've done with other trailer companies, or, like the Volvo, free of charge outside of the game. We're already 2 races in, with each the Stockcar and the Russell Cup of the ASRC, and things are heating up. After a slow start in the Stockcar Cup with tons of full course yellows in the first race, the ASRC changed a couple of details in the design of the cup and let the Banhammer fall, which not only meant less drivers, as many were banned for at least a race, but also a much more vibrant race in Las Vegas with only 2 pace car phases. Alexander Meshkov, Mike van Doorn and Fabian Ball have set themselves into first, second and third respectively, but there's still 10 races to go until the playoffs on this Sunday series we broadcast always at 2100 CET. Yes, also tonight. Moving on to the nimbler cars of the Russell Cup, the 3 race setup with 2 sprint races and a longer race per session are delivering incredibly vibrant racing, allowing for repeated battles for position up and down the whole of the roster. After 2 sessions, Marc Carol, an experienced race pilot in real life as well as on the sim, has climbed into first position, Domin Gantar dropping from 1st to 6th, whilst Ricky Jimenez keeps his 3rd position. Gaspar Mrak, on the other hand, climbs from 5th into second position, but here we're also still at the beginning of the series and many things can happen. For example, this Monday on the Nürburgring, a track that is famous for destroying more than one DTM car, especially their right rear view mirrors. We're looking forward to the next broadcast this Monday, as I said, on Nürburgring 2100 CET. If you would like to support our channel, which we sure wish you would and can afford it, you can do so by becoming a patron at patreon.com/rumrum. Amongst other perks, becoming a patron will fix your name for posterity like this, but you'll also get to know what we plan and what we're doing and will be able to take part in our decisions. So a big thank you to our patrons. If you're feeling friendly, please consider subscribing. The Mclaren 720S Evo has arrived in Assetto Corsa Competizione. A short teaser trailer dropped on Thursday along with an update to version 1.9.3. Let us first tell you about the update. The tire model has been updated again with some changes to the formula when running cold or wet slick tires, and the consumption rate has been tweaked. Something drivers of mid-engine cars have been clamoring after since the 1.9 update dropped, with tires graining at an accelerated rate with 1.9, then 1.9.1 and 1.9.2 brought the performance characteristics back. Hopefully with this step back again, the mid-engine cars will be able to compete over longer stints with the front-engine GT cars. Also in the fix list is the Audi Evo 2, which has had the aero map during yaw rotations improved. In conversation with some Audi loyalists, it seems this is something that has changed either inadvertently or without thinking that it would have an impact. Due to the lack of mention in previous updates, we're thinking the latter. But the hope is this will bring the Audi R8 back to the forefront of competition, where it has been dropping away since 1.9. The Ferrari 296 has had some changes to its ECU maps and a change to the steering wheel setting, so that it is no longer 1000 degrees and therefore out of the reach of most wheels, but 400 degrees. So if you've done some work to get the 296 to feel right on your belt or gear driven wheels, chances are you can undo those changes, as the car now uses a realistic setting. Finally, the Bentley Continental and Honda NSX have had performance improvements. Knowing Kunos, if they haven't listed it, it's because it's a long and detailed fix. We've not had a chance to compare them back to back, so tell us in the comments if you've been able to give them a spin, and let us know if it has made any meaningful change to the pace of these old faithfuls. Balance of performance has been fine-tuned across the board at Bathurst and Paul Ricard. As before, if Kunos are summarizing like this, they have been some changes made to the existing balance of performance. We'll have to find out with you the first time your favorite league visits, so we'll be looking out for that in upcoming calendars. Oh, and one more thing to file under humorous fixes. The Lamborghini Huracan Evo 2 previously had the engine brake mapping, how much fuel the car puts in while shifting down, to stop the jerking effect of the downshifts, reversed. So when you had it set low, you would use more fuel and have the jolt of the downshift, and when set high, a downshift would use no fuel and there would be no real change to the deceleration rate. Now fixed, these should behave as expected, and the amount of turn-in you can generate from your downshifts remains as flexible as ever in the new Huracan. Now on to the Mclaren Evo. Long overdue, the Mclaren 720S Evo actually retains a lot of the cosmetics from the previous version, to the point that most liveries will still work, with the exception of the front bumper, which will need to be reworked. A simple rework compared to what we've seen before, so thanks, Kunos. As for the performance, however, it seems that the Evo has come at the perfect time to line up with this new tire release, and comments from drivers have been very positive. Not on the pace of the Ferrari, but a vast improvement and allows more flexibility in both the setup and aero platforms, already one of the Mclaren's strengths, so grab your free upgrade and take it for a spin. We promise you won't be disappointed.